What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we are taking a closer look at the FXT Viper V2 FPV goggles. Now, it has a detachable 5-inch monitor, 5.8 gigahertz diversity receiver with built-in DVR, and it also supports glasses wearer. So I have my reading glasses here, and check it out. So it will accommodate an average size reading glasses or prescription glasses. So let's take a look at some of the features. Now, it comes in at a price of about $179 at most places, and this is the version 2. So some of the issues noted on the version 1 has been addressed. All right, so first I want to talk about the comfort of these FPV goggles. It has a 3-point harness with some quality elastic straps that's got these micro Velcro fasteners that not only work great, but they also look and feel great as well. Now, it's got this felt-like material headrest with foam on the inside, and this is where most of the contact is made, and it is with your forehead, and it bears most, if not all, of the weight of this FPV goggles. Now, it is also removable for cleaning, and it has the same type of this micro Velcro fasteners. Now, I haven't cleaned it yet, but it seems like it will be a pretty easy job to clean these foam inserts. Now, there is another foam pad on the back of the harness, and it is also removable for cleaning as well. So nothing else makes contact with your face except for the foam pad and the face mask, which is made with this soft silicone rubber material. So nothing is digging into your face, and this face mask is also removable. So all you do is just pull it out and lift it off. Very, very nice. So you can use this FXT FPV goggles with this face mask on for that immersive experience, and it does a great job of light leakage. And you can also use it without the face mask as well if you want to know what is going on around you, which is a unique feature of this FPV goggles. Now, I've been using these FPV goggles for about 2 weeks or so, and it is one of the most comfortable FPV goggles that I have used so far. So to put the face mask back on, just line up these little notches with the holes there and just kind of slide it right in and just push the face mask right back on. All right, so it's got this battery holster in the back of the strap, and it holds a Fat Shark equivalent battery really nicely without stretching out the elastic, but it will also accommodate slightly bigger batteries as well. So I've been using this Eachine Fat Shark replacement battery, and it fits in the holster very nicely. Now, it comes with this power cable with the barrel style connector on one end and the micro USB on the other end. So you can leave this cable connected to the monitor and route this cable through these grommet clips that are built into the FPV goggles and power up your FPV goggles just by plugging in the barrel style connector. Now, you can also leave the barrel style connector connected because the monitor itself also has a on and off switch as well. So that is one way to power up these FPV goggles. Now, you can also power it up using any battery source between 7 and 28 volts using this adapter cable with an XT60 connector. So unplugging the Fat Shark style battery and removing it. So you can use a battery like this 1500 milliamp 3S battery, which I have here, which is a very old battery, by the way. So you can plug in one of those batteries using this cable adapter and plug it in with the barrel style connector. And we also can power up the FPV goggles using the on and off switch as well. So these 1500 milliamp size 3S batteries will fit in the battery holster pretty nicely without really stretching out the elastic that much. but you can also use like a 4S battery as well. And here I have a 1300 milliamp Infinity 4S. This will, however, stretch out the elastic a little bit more. And you can also power it up using this USB adapter cable to use with your power bank type power source with a USB out. And since the USB out is 5 volts and the FPV goggles need a minimum of 7 volts, this adapter cable will step up the incoming 5 volt up to 9 volts. And it is also long enough to keep your power bank in your pocket. So this is how the use of this cable will work. Now I'll unplug the XT60 adapter and plug in the USB power cable and power source it using a power bank, just like that. So these FPV goggles are different and uses a patented design in that you don't look directly at the monitor itself like traditional box style FPV goggles that uses a Fresnel lens between your eye and the monitor, but rather an optical refraction design with dual mirrors, with one mirror positioned here and the other mirror positioned here. So you are looking at the monitor being reflected onto this mirror, which is reflected onto this mirror, and thus you are looking at this mirror. So it maximizes the focal distance without the need of a Fresnel lens, so you get a more clearer video. But since the screen or the mirror that you are looking at is angled and you are looking at a reflection of a reflection, the image is a bit trapezoidal, meaning the top of the image is slightly narrower than the bottom of the image, but nevertheless it is very clear, and it is one of the most clearest box style FPV goggles, if not the clearest. So the FPV monitor is detachable and can be purchased separately, so if you need to replace it, it will cost you a lot less money than buying the whole FPV goggles once again. Now I think the monitor sells for about $79, so it is really nice. It is a 5-inch 800 by 480 pixel LCD monitor with a switchable viewing aspect ratio of 16 by 9 or 4 by 3 via the settings. It supports NTSC or PAL and also has an auto select feature as well. It has a 40 channel true diversity receiver module with frequency from 5645 to 5945 with auto search, and there is an LED light indicator to indicate the antenna that is being used. Now it comes with these stick style FPV antennas, which work fine at a small park or indoors for that matter, but an omnidirectional antenna like this mushroom antenna and combined with a patch style antenna makes it a lot better. And notice that the antennas, when attached, will angle back somewhat because the monitor is slightly angled. So all you got to do is bend the antennas forward just a little bit to maximize the signal radius and direction of the FPV antennas. All right, so taking a look at the monitor itself, and on the bottom we have the micro USB port to power up the unit, and on the right we have the micro SD card slot, which supports up to 32 gigabyte micro SD card for the built-in DVR. Now it will record in 10-minute segments, and that is just fine because most of us don't fly more than 4 or 5 minutes at a time anyway. And also audio video in as well as an audio video out. Now on the top we have the dual SMA antenna connectors, the 2 LED light indicators, and a dedicated simple to use record button. Press to record and press to stop record, which is really nice. And on the left side we have the built-in HDMI in, which can be used to watch movies, hook it up to your computer for flight simulators, or use it for flying the DJI Phantom with the HDMI module. Now on the back we have the control joystick, ventilation grill, and also a speaker grill. All right, so to power up the device, depress the control button joystick for about 3 to 5 seconds, and once powered up, it will be in the RF or the audio video mode with the latest frequency that was used previously. So let's go ahead and power it up, depressing the button, and here we go, the FXT logo that comes on, and we are directly into the RF mode or the audio video mode. Now go up on the control button to change the modes to the DVR mode, and here I have some footage already recorded into the micro SD card, and go up again on the joystick to go into the HDMI mode, and once again to return to the RF mode or the audio video mode. Now long press down to auto search to lock into the strongest signal. So let's go ahead and power up a quadcopter here, and long press the joystick down, and here you go, auto search. Let's see how long it takes to lock into that channel. All right, there we go. We are locked into the channel. Now, short press the joystick to the right to bring up the channels lineup. Check that out. That's all of the channel lineup, the 40 channels that we are given with this FPV monitor. So that is just awesome. You can now use the joystick to navigate to the desired channel and depress the button to select the channel. So just depressing, and I have selected 5790. So once again, to choose channels, you can auto search or bring up the channel lineup. And let me go ahead and go to F1 and hit the button. And I think okay, there we go. Hit the button, and we are into the frequency of the quadcopter. So this is just an awesome feature that all FPV goggles makers should include in their products. So much easier to navigate to find your channels if you are choosing the channel according to the frequency number. So very, very nice. Now long hold the joystick button to the right will bring up the RSSI adjustments. So long holding the joystick to the right, and it'll bring up the RSSI adjustments. You can choose the values of the offset, or you can reset it, or you can also auto adjust. So let me just go ahead and auto adjust, and we are using the diversity module on that side, and sometimes it switches over. So there you go, it switched over, so you can tell which antenna is being used. So that is pretty cool. Now long hold the button to the left, and it will bring up the favorites channels or the preset channels mode, in which you can set up to 8 favorite channels. So long pressing it to the left will bring up this right here, and I have already chosen 5 favorite channels. They're up to 8, so let's go to the vacant one, which is channel 6. Depress the button, and now we can navigate and choose one of the channels for our favorite. Just depress the button, and you have chosen a favorite channel for channel 6. Now back in the audio video mode, you are able to select your favorite channels just by short pressing it to the left, and it will bring up your favorite channel lineup, in which you can navigate to the right or navigate to the left, which is just an awesome feature. Now a quick depressing of the joystick button will bring up the settings. So there you go. Now here you can also start the auto search as well, and oops, it disappears. So you got to bring it back up and move something in order to stay in the settings mode. You can change the viewing aspect ratio from 16:9 to 4:3. I like mine's at 16:9. You can change the format, the video format, from auto. You can change it to NTSC, or you can also change it to PAL. I like to have mine set to auto, and you can turn the display on or off. And if you select on, down pressing on the joystick button will turn it on. Let me go back on and turn it on, and that will bring up the display on the top of your FPV screen. We got the antennas, both of the antenna A and B. You got the frequency and you got the time on and the input voltage as well. Now, it kind of conflicts because I have my Betaflight OSD set right on the top as well. So I like to have mine set to off. So I'm going to go ahead and go down and turn the display off and hit that joystick button and depress it to turn it off. Let's go ahead and bring up the settings once again. Now the next one is the backlight. It is set on high. You can set it to low. You can also set it to medium. I like to keep mine on high. You can also change brightness, contrast, saturation, and the volume as well. When you first open up the box and turn it on, the volume will be set to, I believe, number 10, and it is pretty loud. So first thing you want to do is go into the settings and turn it to 0. And you can also set the language from English to Chinese. And you can also reset all of the stuff to the factory default as well. So here we are in the DVR mode, and you are able to play back a previously recorded video by depressing the record button. It doubles as the playback button and the pause button in the DVR mode. So hitting that button will commence the playback of a previously recorded video, and hitting that button one more time will stop and pause the video. Now, there is no fast forwind and there is no fast rewind feature of this playback. So perhaps in the next version of this unit, that can be added. And also the DVR will record only in the 4:3 aspect ratio, even though we are being able to play back in the 16:9 aspect ratio, which may not bother most of you, but the choice to record 16:9 aspect ratio would have been nice. Now, let me go ahead and pause the playback and get out of that video. And a short press of the control joystick button will bring up the settings of the DVR, in which you are able to delete a video or format the micro SD card. Now, there are 2 folders in the DVR settings, but I am unable to go into that folder. There is no possibility to get into that folder. Now, my Headplay SE goggles, I am able to switch over to that folder and change the video recording aspect ratio 16:9 or 4:3 and other little settings as well. So perhaps in the next version, they can include that as well, or maybe do a firmware update to include the choice to record the 16:9. So let me get out of the DVR settings by hitting that button one more time, and let's go into video number 9, and let's go and put the monitor into the FPV goggles so we can check it out. Let me go ahead and hit play so we can check it out. This is with the face mask on. So that is what you are looking at. It is a pretty immersive experience. And as you can see, the screen is kind of at an angle. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about when I say it looks a little bit trapezoidal there. So it is pretty nice. It's just pretty immersive experience as well. So let me take the face mask off so you can take a look and see how it looks like to be looking at this FPV goggles without the face mask on. So you got this peripheral vision on the left and this peripheral vision on the right, and you can see whatever is below this monitor as well while you have the FPV goggles on your face, just like that. It looks very similar to right around there. So that is a really nice feature of this FPV goggles. Now, we are looking at a mirror reflection of the actual monitor, which is reflected off of that mirror. So that is the display that is being reflected off of the main monitor. First reflection, and then we are looking at the second reflection of the video, which doesn't have any latency. I didn't feel any latency at all, but it does feel a little bit awkward because it is kind of at an angle and you are looking at a slightly tilted screen as well. But it is a very clear video display. So FPV goggles are very, very important, and it normally is a long-term purchase. It is your window to FPV, the video connection and the lifeline between you and your drone. So you want to get something that is right for you. Now, in my case, my very first FPV goggles were these Fat Shark Dominator V3 FPV goggles. I paid some $350 now, plus the receiver module, which also costed yet another $50. So it was an expensive purchase, but I loved it. Now, I since tested out a variety of different types of FPV goggles, both the box style FPV goggles and the Fat Shark style FPV goggles, and they all did the job, but the Fat Sharks were still the goggles of choice until I came across these Headplay SE goggles. And it has been the FPV goggles of choice for me. It's got a huge 7-inch monitor, and from day one, to me, it was a game changer, and I never looked back. Now, it changed the way I felt. Suddenly, I was more comfortable, and I could see more, which made me more confident. Now, I could also wear reading glasses in these guys, which made it even better. So you may think you got what works for you, but unless you try them all out and find the absolute best match for yourself, you may just be flying a little less better than how you could be flying with equipment that suits you better. So try on a friend's FPV goggles and try out their transmitter as well, if they are different than yours, to get a feel for them. You may also find out that another transmitter may fit better in your hands and make you even more confident than you already are. So I really like these FPV goggles, the FXT Viper FPV goggles. I think they are one of the best, if not the best box style FPV goggles with diversity receivers. And for the price of $179, it is so much more affordable than a lot of other FPV goggles out there. Now, the screen is really clear since it does not use Fresnel lenses. It is even clearer than my Headplay SE goggles. The comfort is second to none. Once again, it comes with diversity built in, and the monitor also is replaceable. You can use it with the face mask, and you can use it without the face mask, and it can be powered up in many different ways. So what I would really like to see is the ability to record in 16:9 aspect ratio as well, and the ability to fast forewind and fast rewind in the DVR playback function. That would make these FPV goggles just about perfect. Now, a 7-inch version will be even more fantastic and perhaps may even dethrone my Headplay SE goggles. So that is it for now for the FXT Viper V2 FPV goggles. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you again next time.